Have you ever felt a terror so paralyzing you couldn't move, couldn't escape? Discover how solitude in a cool, dark room turns into pure horror. On a night when fiery eyes are watching and pain grips your body, only a prayer can save you. Can you survive the night? Watch if you dare. In the summer, we rarely had visitors at our house, so I often found myself alone. To break up the solitude, I'd invite my friends over when I got bored. Our house has 3 rooms, and one of them was always dark and cool. I loved sleeping there in the summer. I found the dark room intriguing and comforting. Its coolness provided both physical and mental peace. But that night was different. That day, my friends gathered at my place. One story led to another, and soon we started telling ghost stories. I'd had some strange things happen to me before, but I exaggerated the stories, as if I experienced supernatural events every night just to entertain them. Amid the laughter, my friends joked, "May God let you experience the same things so you know what fear is." I laughed to myself, thinking it was nothing serious. As the night wore on, my friends left one by one, and silence settled over the house. I was alone in the room, and a strange unease crept over me. Still, out of habit, I decided to go to the cool, dark room to sleep. I lay down, placed my head on the pillow, and fell asleep. But before long, I felt a light breeze. I knew the cool room well, but I didn't remember leaving the window open that night. I slowly sat up, deciding to close it. When I looked up to check the window, my gaze shifted to the ceiling. That's when I realized I couldn't move. My body was paralyzed, as if glued to the bed. No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't control my body. My eyes began closing on their own. I struggled to keep them open, but some force was pushing them shut. I was awake, lying with my eyes closed, as a growing fear took over. Suddenly, my body shook. There was an invisible force trying to push me out of bed. I tried to resist, to fight back, but it was useless. Shadows began to form in front of me, and before I knew it, I was thrown against the wall. Moments later, I felt myself being lifted from the waist up. My hands were raised in the air, and I was suddenly overwhelmed by pain, as if nails were being driven into every part of me. At that moment, my eyes opened once more. What I saw was unlike anything I had ever seen. 2 glowing eyes stared back at me, red and burning like fire. These eyes blinked quickly from side to side, focused on me. I was filled with dread. My breath caught, as if a hand was squeezing my internal organs. At that moment, I feared for my life, with nowhere to run. I usually don't remember prayers by heart, but in that moment, I prayed to God, reciting a prayer from deep within. The instant I finished, I was dropped to the bed. Dazed, I opened my eyes and checked my body. I was shaking. When I tried to move my hands, I realized my thumb was bleeding. The cut was so deep that the bone was exposed. I didn't know what to do in my fear. I ran outside. I had to go to the hospital to treat my thumb, where they gave me 27 internal stitches and 7 external stitches to close the wound. The events of that night replay in my mind every time I enter that dark room. After that experience, both my body and soul were deeply shaken. After a night filled with such terror, nothing was ever the same again. I never imagined that words like a curse could hold so much power.